Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Fatback 4 Daily. This is Tuesday. This is the 30th of July, if I remember right. If I'm wrong, sure, please let me know. What are we going to do tonight? We are going to look at the last week of pre-season. We have a game against Leon. We have a charity shield / community shield against Man City. And then we're all in for Norwich at home on the Friday. Straight in, Cop 8, he says, time for panic. Nah, not at all. It'll all be okay. It shouldn't be a problem. But look, we get through all that as we go. We're going to have a look at that pre-season. What's left of it. I'm going to ask for people's predictions on a few things. League, and you can give your predictions now and see how you get on. Take that risk that we don't sign anyone that might change your prediction, but we'll go with a few predictions tonight as well, and when I give you the shout, lash them all at us. With me tonight is the host of the Cop Table, Mr. Peter Phillips. Mr. Peter Phillips, how are you today?
Yes, I'm not bad at all, thanks, Gav. Had a nice day with the kids, and looking forward to the show.
Yeah, good stuff. I had a very relaxing day watching somebody trying to install new internet in the house and them getting very stressed out and me trying to avoid them so they wouldn't say, listen, I'm not doing this, I'm walking out of the house. But we got there eventually. North Red asks, Avi, where are you and Bruno? He actually tweeted us earlier and he said that he's sticking to his prediction. He's sticking to his source. He's sticking to the outcome that Bruno Fernandes becomes a Liverpool player. That is Avi's prediction on that. There he is. Avi Hunter is in. He says, patiently waiting for our man Bruno. I think I read somewhere earlier that Avi says that Liverpool are, as far as Avi is concerned, everything is nearly in place. It's just Lisbon letting them go and stuff like that, but Avi might elaborate on that a little bit more as we go. Peter, we have a game on Wednesday, isn't it? Wednesday, tomorrow.
Yeah.
My days are completely all over the place. We have a game tomorrow. We play Leon. We've seen Salah, Firmino, Alisson, Keita, Shaqiri return to the squad just yesterday. The lads are in Switzerland for a game with Leon. I'm interested to see what way you think we might approach this game. The lads are only back a couple of days, obviously, but do you see them getting any substantial game time in this? With this community shield that seems to be touted as like nearly a European game, the way people are going on. What way do you see us approaching this game with the charity shield coming at the weekend and Norwich 4 or 5 6 days later?
Yeah, I think what Klopp will do is he'll pretty much use the squad that was playing on Sunday against Napoli. I think he'll utilise the young lads a little bit more earlier on, and then look to put the team that's more likely going to be facing Manchester City in the Charity Shield on Sunday later on in the game. That's just my own thoughts. But with regards to the 4 lads who've come back, Keita, Salah, Alisson and Bobby, I think they could get a few minutes under the belt. I can't see them playing much more than 15, 20 minutes if they do play at all, because it's the first day back today, isn't it? They're still going to be going through the mini pre-season of their own, aren't they? So I think the likelihood is if we do see them, it won't be for very long, and they'll be more aimed towards the game at the weekend, and then the season opener against Norwich.
Yeah, is there an argument to say that, the way pre-season has gone and a lot of being made over the results and the performances and different things, is there an argument to say that he may look to bed a couple of players in for 15, 20 minutes, as you say, try give them 45, probably a little bit more come Sunday, and literally not care what happens against Leon or Man City once these players are able to be probably around I'm not saying that the squad that's been in place. I'm talking about these four lads that have come back. I don't see Alisson having an issue, but the other, your Mane or not Mane, sorry, you have Salah, you have Firmino, you have Keita and Shaqiri all back. You have Mane due back Monday. Is there an argument for saying he won't write these games off, but he will literally be looking for getting these players into a physical shape and a readiness for Norwich, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, most definitely. That's going to be the focus of Jurgen Klopp for them players coming back. But what I have been surprised about is the way that Klopp came across in his press conference, in his attitude towards the Charity Shield game against Manchester City. He was surprised that we call it a curtain raiser over here to the season. He's sort of seeing this as like a final. I think he expressed and a trophy to win, whereas the majority of Liverpool fans, obviously we'd love to beat Manchester City and lift that trophy, but I think he's probably showing it a little bit more importance than what the fans are at the moment, which did surprise me slightly from his press conference.
Yeah, it's just like, and don't get me wrong, I've had issues over not issues, I suppose, like just slight concerns, just in general, watching a game, and it looks a bit lethargic, the passing is a bit off, the intensity isn't there, even the shape of the team didn't look right, especially against Napoli. I thought our shape didn't look right. It just looked very rusty, but I literally came out of the game thinking, yeah, they lost the game 3-0, these things happen. It's another 65, 70 minutes in the legs for a lot of players. And I've seen Liverpool fans saying, "Oh, we need to have some sort of reaction against them, against the likes of Leon, and we can't be going into this City game, and showing, being beaten. It'll have an effect on our season." I think that's ludicrous, to be quite honest with you. To be honest with you, I'd happily take 2 draws. Wednesday and Sunday is the Charity Shield. I'd take 2 draws and, good intensity, good shape, tight games, fitness looks good and Norwich comes, because genuinely we're covering these games against Lyon and Man City, and we will talk about before and after them. But all I cared about was when that ball's kicked off at 8 o'clock at Anfield on Friday week. That's it, And I think the results that have happened over the pre-season, while not perfect by any means, I do think that Klopp, probably has to change his outlook on during this pre-season by going, right, this isn't probably working as fast as I wanted it to, so I really have to nail my colours to that Norwich mask come Friday week.
Yeah, and with regards to your point against the Napoli game, yeah, everyone was disappointed by it, by the result and the performance. But looking back on it now, as you say, it was very lethargic. I think the travelling from America and the pre-season that they've done over there probably played a bigger part than what we all thought that it did on Sunday, because I was just reading 1 or 2 articles today, and I was looking at one of the videos that the Red Men TV lads done, and they were saying they was absolutely shattered coming back from there, even though they'd only been filming over there.
Yeah.
Chris was saying there's no way on earth he'd have been able to play a football match on the Sunday, and he was saying that Paul wasn't very fit to take the photographs, so you couldn't imagine how them players must have felt playing that game after such a long travelling time, and the amount of effort that they've been putting in the past week over in the United States. So I think, we was all disappointed by the Napoli game and the performance, and it led to a lot of people scrutinising how the season's going to go, and taking a lot from that game heading towards the season, which really we shouldn't have done. It's one of them. We have to take everything into consideration about the travelling and the lethargic performance. So yeah, I don't think it's much of a pointer towards the season looking back at it now.
Yeah, Chris says that he'd rather have the Napoli performance happening now rather than in a league game, and that's absolutely true. That you look at these things, but you're right in saying, like, the lads from Redmen, the lads from the Anfield Wrap were all over there, and they were going on about just how hot, how humid it was, how hard it was like you said, to move around with a camera and a microphone and a bit of equipment on your back. And then he's looking at lads that are training. Now, these are elite professionals, don't get me wrong, and elite athletes, but they're training in the morning, they're training in the afternoon, then they're going out to play a game in the evening time, and it's all through heat and it's all through humidity, and it takes its toll. And then I suppose you travel back from America, you get back to Britain, you go and you play in Scotland. There's always going to be a bit of tiredness in the legs and stuff like that, and that can lead to, as I mentioned earlier, these kind of passes being astray, that you're slightly that yard off it. You're not probably that yard off it in your mind, but your legs are, slowly building up. There's a pace it needs for the Premier League starting in 10 days' time. So it's one of those where, it's you could look at it and say, oh, he looks off it. But again, these are just things that happen in pre-season. And don't get me wrong, we done a pretty similar pre-season last year, and we won games, the kind of way. But I don't think we are missing this amount of players last season, the kind of way. We are missing, like, there's what, 1, 2, 5 lads back today, that played it, took part in America last year. Mane is out as well. I think it's fair to say that results haven't been great, but looking into this week, you're just looking for a bit more fitness and a bit more sharpness, I suppose, out of the lads that have been there through the course of this pre-season, and that will come with that little bit of rest they've had now since the weekend. You're looking for these guys coming back to get, hopefully hit the ground running and build up over the next 2 games for the game in 10 days' time. And then you have Mane coming back on Monday. I can't see him taking part against Norwich. But then you have another week, I don't think he might. I don't even know if he'll take part against, is it Chelsea they play the following week in the Super Cup? He probably won't take part in that, or if he does, it'll probably be a 20-minute cameo. And looking then for away to Southampton, I think, is the second league game of the season. So I think it's just, as I've said from the start, it's all about progressing in pre-season in a certain way with fitness, sharpness. The results have held a bit of a cloud over us, but it wouldn't be my biggest issue. When it comes to these 2 games, Peter, I'll tell you what, pick me a team that you would think would play the majority of this game it is Wednesday, isn't it? It is tomorrow evening.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 6 p.m. UK time kickoff. Okay. It is.
Perfect. Okay. So if I was, I just want you to pick me a team, and are you looking for a marked improvement on the Napoli game in terms of the way, in terms defensively, offensively, on the ball, off the ball?
Yeah, I think the manager will want to see that as well. I think it was Andrew Robertson who done the post-match interview, and he said he just wasn't at it whatsoever against Napoli, and he was pressing in 1s and 2s instead of the 3s and 4s that they've been used to over the course of last season, and building up to the Champions League final against Barca in the semis when everyone was pressing like mad. So I think Jurgen's definitely going to want to see a response in that part of the game. But as for a team to start off with, I think you'll probably still start off with Simon Mignolet in the goal. Possibly he might bring Joe Gomez on to start at right back. Matip and Van Dijk, I'd expect. I don't think the lad Larouci is back yet, so you might see Adam Lewis possibly get a start.
Kevin says here that, is there any word on Larouci? I don't think there is. I think he got severe bruising to his leg. I think that may be a couple of weeks before he's back in training.
Yeah, he's definitely in the squad over in Evian, so it'll just be a matter of time before he's back on the training pitch, I think. Then, as you going back to the team, I think the midfield, difficult one really. I think possibly Milner will play in there. Wijnaldum, not sure whether Fabinho will start this one. You might bring in Lalana. I know he's done a little bit in the number 6 role in a couple of games, little cameos here and there, so you might give him a little bit of a run out. And then the front 3, if he goes with that formation, will probably be again Wilson, Origi, and not too sure who the other one was who started against Napoli. I think, did Wijnaldum start?
It was Wijnaldum, Oxlade-Chamberlain, and Origi kind of played further forward.
Yeah, Yeah,
So,
possibly Oxlade-Chamberlain then could be the other one to start against Leon on the Wednesday night. But yeah, it'll be interesting because there's like I say, some of the young lads going to be hoping to start this game with more of a focus being on Manchester City, and it's just going to be interesting to see what he goes with tomorrow night.
yeah, you've gone with a fairly mixed side experience-wise. Somebody mentioned there that they think it'll be the Napoli team, the team that face Napoli again, probably with Alisson maybe starting. I don't know. I think Alisson's first start might be in the Community Shield. For me tomorrow, it'll probably look something like Mignolet. I'd say the same back forward again. Although I'd like to probably see Gomez in there with Van Dijk, just to get them familiarised with themselves.
Oh yeah, someone just mentioned there that Brewster. Yeah, I think he could possibly start this game.
Yeah, well,
that's one option. Yeah,
I think I'd like to see Gomez in there with Van Dijk, Robertson. Trent needs it. Trent needs that sharpness. He's looked it's a little bit rusty, and I think he needs another game for sharpness. In the midfield, I noticed they were playing a lot of this. It looked a bit like a 4-1-4-1 against Napoli, where Oxlade-Chamberlain and Wijnaldum were, literally
wide,
wide or in a 4. I don't want to see that. I'd actually like to see Fabinho. I'd like to see Fabinho, Wijnaldum, Oxlade-Chamberlain. To be honest with you, because I think Wijnaldum and Oxlade-Chamberlain need games in that part of the park that they're going to play the absolute majority of the time this season. I think they just need to get in and get a rhythm, particularly Oxlade-Chamberlain. He's been playing too much with his back to goal, and to be honest with you, it just does not suit him. He needs to get the ball out of his feet. He needs to have the game in front of him, and he needs to just get a little groove going in that position that he's looking to nail down for himself this season. Up front, if you're going to play them three, I'd like to give Wilson a go. I'd like to give Brewster a go, and
yeah.
Anybody else, I'm not really bothered with. You can play Kent, or you could do something along them lines. But then again, you might get one of these lads that come back and says,
I don't think Kent's travelled, has he?
No, maybe not. Yeah, you're probably right there. So you never know. Shaqiri could be back saying, "No, I'm training a while. I'm okay." Naby Keita could say the same. You don't know. So I'd like to see something like that again with the bigger players. If they could get 15 minutes into them, absolutely great. Grace Khan is causing murder on this chat tonight. He's asking, does anybody want news? He's doing those side eyes emojis. He's doing grenades. He's doing all sorts. Come out with a Grizz. Come out with a Grizz, or I will start giving people your phone number, and they will start messaging you direct. That's how it's going to work tonight. There is 940 people watching this Grizz on Periscope. There's a lot more people watching on YouTube as well. So come out with a Grizz, or your phone call starts being put up on screen digit by digit. Right. Look, we're going to have to talk transfers. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Do we have to?
We don't. we kind of have to, and you know what it is. No, I don't really want to go into particular names. The word going around is that the Bruno Fernandes thing with Avi, which we've had great fun with. And listen, I like the Avi fella. I like the way he's gone on about this, and he's had a good laugh with it. So no matter what happens, I like him. So I do like him. He's absolutely nailing his colours to his mast with regards to Bruno Fernandes and stuff. The Pepe stuff, I think Arsenal are paying him butter vouchers, and they're paying it over about 15 years. But they've gone and tried to do that deal. Fair enough. Man City, Rodri, United, Wan-Bissaka and Daniel James, Taka Diabala with a swap for Lukaku. Chelsea can't do anything. Spurs have done and Dembele and different things. But, I don't want to go into any particular names. And there was a lot of panic in the days following Napoli, but and probably still is, there probably still is. But the thing is, I think now it looks more and more likely that we do not sign a player, now between now and the transfer window ending. I don't think I've asked you this question yet. I probably have. If I have, I apologise. But does it concern you when you look? It would concern me more. I'll put it to this, Peter. It would concern me more if I was looking at United signing 6 top draw players, right, on top of a decent squad. If Arsenal were playing, if Arsenal had signed some defenders, it would concern me. If City had signed a really good centre half, it would concern me. But I'm not too concerned when I look around at what other teams are doing, and we may be standing still, but standing still actually, squad terms, doesn't actually bring us backwards. You know the way people say standing still, you go backwards. Are you happy enough with what's going on here, or do you think that people have a right to be concerned to a certain degree?
Yeah, I do really. To be perfectly honest, I think first of all, every fan's entitled to their own opinion, whether they think that Liverpool should be signing players or whether they're happy with the team as it currently was at the end of last season with just the 1 or 2 additions of the 2 youngsters that we've brought in. Personally, it's very difficult to say, but it is slightly concerning. Like we spoke on previous podcasts, that if we do get 1 or 2 injuries or a suspension here or there, it could take its toll on the team. And if they're lengthy spells out for players, for example, if Salah or Mane picked up anything, you're looking at Origi and Brewster or Shaqiri, then aren't you? And then who replaces them from the substitute bench? So it could be the squad could be looking a lot thinner if any of them. But that's just hypothetically, and that looking on the negative side of things, that what could happen. But personally, I'd rather not stand still. It's been proven that there was a good article out today by Sam Maguire, who put out saying that it's definitely a risk by Liverpool, but really is a risk worth taking. For me, it's not. Why should we have to take a risk and not sign anyone, even if it was a player who's only going to be used as a backup in the squad? I think that it is possibly going to backfire that we haven't added it into the squad this summer. For me, we definitely should have added 1 or 2 players. So that's just my own personal thought, and I know a lot of fans are on the same side, and a lot of fans are happy to trust Klopp and his opinion. But I don't know if you've seen the article by with the Twitter feed from Mo Chatra. Was it last night?
I didn't.
And
I didn't see.
Ran through all.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
The finance situation. Yeah.
I spoke to Andy earlier about it, and he was saying that it was a very interesting read. Grizz Khan says 1 young player and 1. I think he said 1 young player and 1 main first team player still to come in. And we'll talk to him now. We won't talk to him. I'm not fucking getting him on. No, he's not wasting my time tonight. But he wastes my time enough nights of the week. But he's saying 2, so we'll have to wait and see. But again, listen, Avi's standing by his, Grizz can stand by his. But you're of the opinion, Peter, anyway, that this is it should be a place where we should have strengthened from a position of strength, I suppose.
Yeah, most definitely, coming back from the European Champions League victory, and then obviously we've come 1 point behind Manchester City last season, but you can take into account some of them games that we won. Like you could say it was down to luck, you could say it was down to just the team keeping on going. But the Origi one against Everton, and that was 94th, 95th minute. You had the late one against Tottenham as well, didn't you, when Salah crossed it in, and Alderweireld scored an own goal. So they're just on 2 occasions where we've come away with 6 points from them game, but it could easily have been 2 points. So for me, there's although we did have a fantastic season, a lot of it was resting on the fact that the front 3 stayed fit for the majority of the season, apart from when we went into Barcelona, and then the backup players did prove that they could fill in for them at the time. But I just think that it'd be wrong for us to stand still this summer and sort of let teams catch us up I know City have only bought one player as well, but he's a 50-60 million pound midfield player, where we spent 1.4 million rising to 4 on Vandenberg, and then the young 16-year-old's going to go to a tribunal. So I just think that my personal opinion is that we should be strengthening this squad, and like I say, I know a lot of fans agree, and a lot of fans will be happy to trust Jurgen Klopp. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy to trust Klopp if he's earned that trust from the fans, that if he wants to go into this season with the squad that he's got, I'm happy for him to do that. So you don't know whether the guy who done the Twitter feed, Mo Chatter, was a lot about the finance situation and how the money's been taken up by new contracts for certain players, the new training ground at Kirkby. A lot of the transfer money from Coutinho was added to the budget, and the top and bottom of it was the likelihood is there's not a lot of money to spend this summer. So if they do spend the money, you could see a couple of players going out, possibly Wilson and Kent could bring in 35 million between the two of them at a push. So you could see that money then being utilised to bring somebody into the squad. So he was just, or they could spend money, but it could come out of the budget from next year when the new sponsorship deal kicks in. It could have to be, some of that money would be used for this summer. So it's, if anybody's not seen it, I'd suggest you go out and have a little look at the Mo Chatra Twitter feed that he done last night. It's certainly very, very interesting and one for everyone to read.
Yeah, no, as I said, I was talking to Andy earlier and he found it very interesting. He said he broke it down fairly well. I think it's about 20 odd tweets, but he breaks it down fairly well. A lot of people here are saying, look, with the success we've had last season, you know, the finish in the Premier League, the winning of the European Cup, a lot of our, I suppose, players will be on a bonus structure, you know, with regards to its incentive-based
as well,
contracts. Yeah. So you would have to pay an awful lot out on that, and that just comes with you know, the territory, I suppose, of being successful and having contracts like that. But against that, people will argue, well, hold on, we're getting bonuses off sponsors and you know, UEFA and the Premier League for where we finished as well. Does that not offer right? I don't know. I'm no financial expert when it comes to Liverpool Football Club.
He mentioned he pretty much went through all aspects of the financial situation, from the TV money to the sponsorship money, to players who were signed, players who left, the bonus, like you say, the bonus structure for winning the Champions League. They would have had to pay out quite a lot of money for that. And then you've also got got to consider that they could be expanding the ground, the Anfield Road end. So money is going to have to be put into the organisation of that for the planning. So it was just really an interesting read, and it basically covered all the aspects of the financial situation that he believes is the situation at Liverpool. And apparently he did. I was speaking to one of the lads, Rob, and he said that when the financial figures did come out at the end of the season, or whenever they was released, the guy Mo was pretty much spot on. He knew exactly how much that the club was going to be putting out in their numbers from the previous season. So he's whether he's a mathematician, I don't know.
Yeah,
he's just really, really spot on.
He's obviously looked at it from a very sensible point of view. He's obviously researched the previous figures, because previous figures of Champions League and stuff like that will give you a baseline idea of what you can expect. Somebody there says that sponsorship deals are also incentive based. They absolutely are. United's deal of 75 million a year is actually not 75 million. I think it's about 40. So, and then they get 75 with Champions League. That's why they've suffered with Adidas over the last couple of seasons without Champions League football. We've gone to 30 minutes. We'll do another 5 because it's extremely interesting. And listen, there's an absolute pile of people watching this, and I appreciate every single one of you. So keep watching every evening. Keep throwing your comments in, because the questions I ask people on this, the likes of Peter and Kieran or Grays or whoever's on, all comes from your comments. They're really insightful, and that's where I get most of the questions from, to involve you without actually, calling out your name every time. But just, Peter, I'm going to put you on the spot. Oh, sorry, before I do that, just to let you know, Graves is keeping everyone hanging, apparently. Graves needs to come out and name some players. If he doesn't name it by the end of this, you have my permission to go on and absolutely tear him from limb to limb on Twitter. And that's and I will absolutely back you to the hilt. So, if Graves doesn't come out with names in the next 4 or so minutes, you have my permission, and most certainly Matt's permission, and Peter's, to go and absolutely tear them asunder on Twitter. And if he blocks anybody, I'll make sure you get unblocked, because I know how to get his account. So, look, I've got to put you on the spot a little here before we finish up. The season ahead, I suppose, what do you want to see in the season ahead? Or do you know what? Give me a prediction on the league, and I suppose league position, and let's say the European Cup. Just what you feel Liverpool will do in this season. I know it's putting you on the spot, and I know it's a bit unfair because we were a week to go before changes could be made to this squad. But right now, what do you think?
Well, focusing on the league to start off with, I think it's going to be very, very difficult, isn't it, to overtake a Manchester City team that's finished on 100 points the season before and 97, which is just an absolute freak points tally when it comes to Premier Leagues. I don't think the amount of points to win the Premier League will be as much as it has been over the past couple of seasons, due to the fact of the competitions that teams have, the international teams have been involved in. I think it'll have an effect towards the end of the season with regards to fitness and things like that. So I think, obviously, I'd love to say Liverpool's going to win the league. I'd be absolutely delighted, over the moon. But I just don't think at the moment we haven't got that extra depth of squad that Manchester City have got to overtake them at this point. So unfortunately, I think we'll probably come second once again. But I'd like to see us again try and lift the trophy, whether that be we could win the Super Cup early on. There's a trophy in the cabinet already. But I can't really see Klopp going strong in the FA Cup or the League Cup once again. I think he pretty much writes off them two competitions early on, doesn't he? So it'll just be, hopefully we can have a good run in the Champions League and see what we can do in that competition again. Hopefully we can get to the final and see if we can bring 7 back.
People are asking me to check my WhatsApp. I have checked it. Graves mustn't have signal on his phone. He must have typed the message, because not a single message has come through to me from Graves Can this evening. I can tell you that without a shadow of a doubt. Please, Operation Attack Graves can now commence. You lads walk away, and as I said, everyone at the Day Trippers will back you up on this subject. For me, I'm still going to say we're going to win the league. I say it every year, and I'm going to say it again. I think our squad is a great squad. I know there is slight concerns over certain things, and if certain things happen, how do we adjust? But that's just the natural way a season goes for any club in any form of football. So I'm still of the opinion this is a fantastic squad of players. I know there's 6 or 7 trophies and stuff like that, but listen, I do have concerns. I said that from the first show I done on this, so I'm going to say, my concerns and your concerns and anybody else's concerns are perfectly valid. But I will, and I know it's not a cop-out thing to say, I trust Jurgen Klopp more than I've trusted nearly every Liverpool manager I've watched Liverpool under. and that's being perfectly honest with you. So I'm going to go with a league win, and I'm going to say quarter-finals of the European Cup, because when it comes down to it, I think it will be a season where if needs be, we will drop the European Cup and go all out for this league, and it might be in tandem with Man City taking the right off a league ball while they go for the Champions League ball. So that's what I'm going to go for. Some Glenn says deal agreed with a Lukaku swap. Yeah, that'll be an interesting one. But again, I don't know what United are at. They have not got a great record for signing top strikers recently and it working out. So we'll have to wait and see. But look, that's been the Fatback 4 Daily. That's been your night Tuesday. I will be back tomorrow at 9 p.m. tomorrow night. 9 p.m. I will be in the studio doing the show tomorrow night at 9 p.m. So we'll see you then. Peter, thanks a million for joining me. I'll talk to you again during the week.
Yeah, thanks for having me on once again, Gav. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, I really did. I really enjoyed it too. One of the best shows I think we've done so far. To everybody watching on Periscope, a phenomenal amount of people watching tonight. Absolutely top draw.
Yeah,
from
cheers
you
everybody.
Absolutely top draw again. Everyone watching on YouTube, absolutely top draw again. We will be back at 9 p.m. tomorrow. I'm off to attack Grizz Khan. I recommend that you should join me. It's only 10:30 at night. We could at least do this for 12 hours without giving up. That's been it. That's been us. Over now.